The moon hung like a watchful guardian over Eldrin's Hollow that night. I remember the way the pine needles crunched beneath my boots, Caesar laughing beside me, arms full of supplies. For a second, life felt simple, like maybe all we had to worry about was getting home in time for supper. But all that changed when we saw the smoke. Thick, black, curling up into the silver sky, my heart just dropped. Caesar didn't have to say a word. We both knew. We ran. The whole village was chaos. Soldiers in cruel, dark armor sweeping through, torches blazing, the smell of burning wood, the screams. Gods, I'll never forget those screams. Caesar yanked me back as a flaming beam crashed down, and I could see the fear in his eyes, just for a moment. "We can't fight them all!" he shouted. But what else could I do? My home was burning, my family, my friends. So I gripped my spear, and we threw ourselves into the fight. Steel clashed. Caesar's shield saved my life more than once. For a heartbeat, it felt like maybe we could hold the line. But then more soldiers came, eyes glowing red, like monsters out of a nightmare. A blow slammed into my head. The world spun, everything fading. Caesar's voice echoing further and further away. The last thing I saw was the village burning, and Caesar fighting before being dragged off into the darkness. That's the night everything changed. Waking up in darkness, chained and alone, that's how Atlus's escape begins. Atlus's head pounds. The chill of the floor seeps right through him. He blinks, searching the blackness. Only a thin slice of light cuts through, high above. Chains rattle as he shifts. The sound echoes, sharp and lonely. His wrists burn. Iron bites into his skin. He grits his teeth. What happened? The attack, Caesar's shout flames. Soldiers everywhere. It's all a blur. He tries to speak, voice raw. "Caesar!" Silence presses in. No answer. Only the drip of water and the scratch of rats nearby. Atlus tugs at the chains, a desperate move. They hold tight. Panic claws at him, makes his breath come faster, louder. No, not now. He forces himself to breathe slow. In, out, in, out. Why am I alive? Did they leave me here to rot, or is there something they want? He closes his eyes, gathering every scrap of courage. No one is coming to save him. He has to escape. Atlus listens, sharp and alert. Every echo, every clang, every breath might be a clue. He won't let fear win. Not here, not now. This prison is a trap, but Atlus is already searching for a way out. His escape begins now. I sat there, numb, the chill crawling under my skin like tiny spiders. My head spun. 1 second, Caesar and I were fighting for our lives against those soldiers defending our village, and then darkness swallowed everything. Where was Caesar now? What did they do to our home? And why am I the one left breathing? The silence in this cell was like a living thing pressing in on me until a scratchy voice cut through the gloom. "Atlus, is that you?" My heart nearly stopped. That voice, no, it couldn't be. But when I turned and squinted through the shadows, there he was. Ronan, gaunt, battered, but those blue eyes, unmistakable. "Ronan?" My voice cracked with disbelief. He just nodded, grim as ever. "Someone in the village sold us out. They knew everything. When to hit, where to look. Only someone inside could have known all that." My stomach dropped. Betrayal. I could taste it. Bitter as bile. Someone we trusted had pointed the knife right at our backs. But with every heartbeat, the shock turned to anger, and then to something harder. "We need to get out," I said. "Steady now. If there's a traitor, we can't let them win. We have to escape." Ronan gave a hollow laugh. "You're welcome to try. These walls, they don't give up their prisoners easy." But I wasn't backing down. Not now. Not when freedom and revenge were this close. The prison felt like a tomb. I could barely breathe, knowing this was our one shot to get out. Atlus and I, two men with nothing left to lose. The chains cutting into my wrists felt like a death sentence. Until Ronan, always the clever one, slipped a tiny iron spike from the wall. His hands shook as he worked the lock. Sweat trickled down his face, but he kept at it. Then a soft click. "Freedom or close enough." "Quiet now," he whispered. The risk of getting caught was real, and the guards were ruthless. I nodded, every muscle coiled, ready to spring. We crept to the iron gate, nerves shot, hearts pounding out of our chests. Ronan picked the lock, the metal scraping so loud in the silence it felt like a shout. Gate open, we slid into the corridor, feet bare, barely daring to breathe. I thought about home, the people I'd lost. I promised myself we'd make it out. Then disaster, a guard's shadow too close to dodge. Instinct took over. I lunged, fists flying, torch hitting the ground, plunging us into darkness. I landed a punch, but the noise gave us away. Footsteps thundered from every direction. "Run!" Ronan shouted, shoving me forward. But I hesitated, couldn't leave him. That split second of doubt was all it took. A blow crashed down on me. Darkness, the last thing I saw. Ronan dragged away, still fighting, still cursing our captors. That's how our escape ended. Not with freedom, but with a lesson. A throb pulsed through the side of my skull, followed by a deep ache in my shoulders and ribs. My eyes blinked open slowly, the world swimming into view in shades of grey. The flickering torchlight outside my cell cast shadows that danced like ghosts. I was back in the same place. No chains this time, just heavy iron cuffs bolted into the floor. My wrists bled from the failed escape, the skin raw and bruised. I groaned as I shifted upright, my muscles screaming in protest. Everything hurt. Then it hit me, Ronan! I turned my head sharply toward the next cell, but it was empty. The silence was deeper now, heavier. I crawled to the edge, gripping the bars that separated me from the now abandoned space. "Ronan?" I whispered. Nothing, just stone and silence. I sat there for a long time, staring at the emptiness where my friend had been. The betrayal, the burning village, Caesar's disappearance. It all circled in my mind like vultures over a battlefield. And now Ronan was gone too. Dead? Taken? I didn't know. But one thing was clear, we were never meant to escape. Someone had been watching. Someone was always watching. My thoughts drifted back to Ronan's words. They knew where to strike, when to strike. Only someone inside could have told them that. The fire inside me reignited, not just anger, but purpose. I would get out. I would find Caesar. I would uncover the traitor, and whoever was responsible would beg for mercy before the end. Picture this. The stone doors of the castle groan open, and I'm dragged inside by soldiers who look as nervous as I feel. My legs are jelly from exhaustion, but I force myself to keep my head up. I've been a prisoner before, but this time, something's different. The whole place is tense, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath. Inside the great hall, it's breathtaking. High arches, stained glass windows, splashing colours everywhere, and polished marble that echoes every footstep. But what really grabs me, what sends a chill down my spine, is the throne at the end of the room. Obsidian steps lead up to it, black as midnight, and on that throne there's a figure draped in shadow and gold. My heart nearly stops. I swear I've seen this person die. I watched the rubble fall, saw the body, cold and lifeless. There's no way, absolutely no way they could be here. But here they are, alive, breathing, staring down at me with eyes that say, "I know everything." One of the guards shoves me to my knees, but I hardly notice. All I can think is, what kind of power brings a king back from the dead, and what does it want with me? Prison, the world felt like it had shrunk to the size of my cell. My wrists were raw, the cuffs biting in with every tiny twitch. It was so quiet I could hear my own heartbeat pounding out the rhythm of my dread. Silence like that. Jah, it gets to you. Then, out of nowhere, I heard it. Atlus. I spun around, hope and suspicion wrestling in my mind. A tall guard stood at the gate, moving in this strange way. It wasn't the usual swagger. He kept his helmet low, hiding his face. Again that voice. Atlus. It's me. The helmet came off and I swear my breath caught in my throat. Lazarus? It felt like a dream. Lazarus, my old training partner, a warrior whose blade was as quick as any in the kingdom. Last I saw him, chaos reigned, and I thought he was lost, gone with the others. He didn't waste time, rushed over with a stolen key, dropped to one knee, started fiddling with the cuffs. I was shaking, part relief, part disbelief. I thought you were dead? So did they, he muttered. We don't have time. We're getting out of here. The metal hit the floor. I stood, blood pounding, every sense sharp. How did you get in? Been wearing their armor, watching, waiting. He flashed a quick grin, but his eyes were deadly serious. Let's move. We slipped out, hearts thumping in sync, weaving through dark corridors. Every corner felt like it might be the end, but then shouts behind us. "There! Stop them!" The alarm. Torches flared, steel hissed as blades were drawn. We were surrounded. Lazarus drew his sword, jaw set. "Damn it, we fight." I could feel the surge of old battle instincts. Then, out of the blue, a voice thundered through the chaos. "Enough!" Everything stopped. The guards parted, and into the flickering torchlight stepped a man in iron and crimson, tall, cold, eyes like winter frost. General Vortan. The kind of presence that makes even the bravest hesitate. He studied us like we were insects on a pin. "Take them," he ordered, his voice flat as stone. "The king will want to see this himself." And that's when I realized our escape was only the beginning. This is why you never trust the shadows in a castle, because sometimes the worst secrets wear a crown. Dragged through the castle's cold halls, Atlus and Lazarus said nothing, the silence biting, the stone almost hostile. In the throne room, they found Ronan, alive but changed. Atlas's heart skipped, but nothing could prepare them for the king waiting above. Eyes locked, reality shattered. "No, that's not possible." And then Ronan spoke just one word. "You see it too." The silence after, heavier than any chain.